We've got breaking news out of the NBA where the Boston Celtics have suspended head coach Ime Udoka for the entire 2022-23 season. The 45-year-old Udoka was reportedly involved in a consensual relationship with a female staff member. The Celtics said the decision about Udoka's future with the organization will be made at a later date. In the meantime, assistant coach Joe Mazzulla will reportedly take over while Udoka is suspended.
Recently in the news, the Boston Celtics basketball team suspended its head coach, Ime Udoka, for conduct that was detrimental to the team that went against the team's company policies, in which we later found out he was accused of having a sexual affair with one of the top executives of basketball operations' wives. And once the Boston Celtics executives found out about this affair, they urged Ime Udoka to stop immediately. Apparently he didn't, and they suspended him for making unwanted advances on this executive basketball of operations wife. Now, Ime Udoka, in his rookie year as the Boston Celtics head coach, led the Boston Celtics all the way to the NBA Finals and came within 2 wins short of actually winning the entire title. With this suspension, this puts Ime Udoka's future coaching career in jeopardy. For he may not be able to find another head coaching job in the NBA ever again due to the fact that these allegations are very serious. And in the era of Me Too, he'll be hard pressed to find another head coaching job in any professional setting. But we're not going to speak about Ime Udoka's head coaching status, because in that 1 year with the Celtics, he did something way more than the previous head coach, Brad Stevens, could do in 8, which is lead the Boston Celtics to the NBA Finals and coming within 2 wins short of actually winning it all. What I want to speak about is the type of behavior that Ime Udoka chose to do while on the workforce, which is participate in a sexual affair with a woman while on the job. Not only just any old woman, but to have a sexual affair with someone else's wife. I'm going to be the first one to say that I do not condone the actions and behavior of Ime Udoka or any man that chooses to have illicit sexual affairs with anybody on the workforce. In my personal opinion, it's dirty Mackin at its finest. Ime Udoka is allegedly engaged to actress Nia Long, and these two have been in a relationship for a very long time. And it is reported that Nia Long has no aspirations of legally getting married. So therefore, with her and Ime Udoka, they've been engaged for a long time, but the prospect of legal marriage has not produced anything, simply because Nia Long doesn't want to pursue marriage. However, regardless of the fact that whether or not he's in a relationship with Nia Long and whether or not he's engaged to her, this is something as men we just can't do. We can't be putting our livelihoods at jeopardy because we want to exploit our sexual longings. I get it. We men, we see a fine looking woman, you know, we're instantly physically attracted to her. However, we have to understand, brothers, the workplace is the last place you should be trying to want to mess around with any women at. It's just unnecessary, and you're bringing unnecessary chaos and confusion to your life, especially at a job such as what Ime Udoka does. To be the head coach of such a prestigious organization, you have to ensure that you can't be messing around and doing things that are detrimental towards the team. Ime Udoka's situation reminds me of Derek Fisher when he was coaching the New York Knicks about 7-8 years back. He only coached the team, I think, 1 or 2 seasons, and he was let go because he was accused of messing with a couple of his players' wives. It's just dirty Mackin, man. As a man, we already know we shouldn't be out here trying to fornicate and put our phallus into just any old woman simply because we may have the power or the opportunity to do so. Yes, Ime Udoka is the head coach, but as a head coach, you're supposed to hold yourself to a higher standard. And messing around with an executive's wife, or any wife for that matter, it is flat out wrong, and you're misrepresenting yourself as a man. You're showing that you have no self-control over your sexual longings. and that you allow your sexual prowess to cloud and dictate your judgment.
This article on The Athletic, Sharania writes that some members of the Celtics organization first became aware of the relationship in July. At that time, team leadership was led to believe by both parties that the relationship was consensual, but the woman recently accused Udoka of making unwanted comments toward her. This led the team to launch a set of internal interviews, after which the final decision was made. Now, this is a new moment in this whole situation, and a big one at that. This is the exact reason for why the code of conduct even exists.
I'll tell y'all straight up, I've been in the post office over 8 years, and not once have I ever attempted to mess around or sleep with any of my female employees. I'm not the type of brother that's going to fraternize with pretty much anybody on the job. Yeah, I may laugh a couple of times, I may joke a couple of times, I may have a light-hearted, small talk conversation here and there. But I don't get paid to fraternize. I don't get paid to laugh and joke and mess around. I get paid to come in, do my job, and leave. That's what I get paid to do. And that's something I'm going to take pride in, and that's something I'm going to continue to stick to. Even when I was in the military, I didn't mess around with any female soldiers on any matter. Because I knew while I'm on the job, I'm there to perform my job. I'm there to get paid to do a service that I was paid. Why would you put yourself at risk of losing your job, losing your livelihood, ruining your career over a woman that you shouldn't have even messed around with in the first place? As men, we can get on these platforms, we can get on the internet and talk about how vindictive and how wrong these women are, how much these women cheat on their husbands or whatnot. But does that make it right for us to do the same thing? Absolutely not. Man, you don't do no macking on no job, bruh. Dirty macking at that, you messing with another man's wife. You lucky he is in a position to where he doesn't have to resort to violence to solve his situation with his wife or with you. If he really was a low-level, thinking-minded man, he could have took the deal with you. He could have got violent. He probably could have killed you. But what would the end result for that be? You end up being 6 feet in the grave. He end up being in jail, and she is scot-free to do whatever she wants. So what does he do? He does what any logical and intelligent man that thinks outside the box does. He launches a private investigation. Turns out, when she got caught up, you still wanted to pursue her anyway, after she told you to stop. Brothers, when a woman says no, no means no. Leave the situation alone. Leave her alone. It's not worth the hassle. It's not worth the trouble. We gotta have better judgment and better discernment on what we choose to do when we're interacting with fellow employees at the job, man. Brothers, don't be trying to fraternize and try to possibly get intimate with these women on the workforce. I get it. There's a lot of females on your job, man, that look good. They got banging bodies, they smell good, they got a nice voice, all that stuff, right? There's a time and place for that. If you want to fraternize with her outside the job, hey, do what you do. But for me personally, hey, look, I meet you at the job, we do what is required of us to do the job, and I go home, period. Udoka could have easily avoided this situation by simply not engaging with this woman or any woman on the Boston Celtics staff at all. But when you allow your sexual urges to cloud your judgment, to dictate to you that's the route you want to go, then you deserve the punishment and the consequences that come forth as a result of that. This man literally committed adultery. He had sexual relations with another man's wife. So don't feel sad and be pissed off because he got caught up. God punishing him as a result of him disobeying God's commandments.
Want to fire him, we can't say anything. We understand that in all likelihood, they have cause because clearly you violated organizational policy and you possibly may have lied. So if you got cause, they could fire him. But if you're not going to fire him, keep him. My issue is you got this man's personal business publicized all over the airwaves, all over national, or it's made national news for something that I promise you, no one will refute, is religiously kept in-house.
And yes, we can get mad at Malika Andrews for not wanting to expose the woman and whatnot, but the fact of the matter is this man is a public figure. He's the head coach of the Boston Celtics. He's the head coach of the team. Nobody sees this woman who's the wife of an executive. Nobody sees her in a public setting. Everybody sees Ime Udoka. He's the head coach. He's the one that's the most recognizable. So therefore, he's going to be held accountable even more than she is. Is it right? Is it fair? Man, life ain't fair. But the bottom line is, men, we hold ourselves to a different standard than women. We got to stop crying and complaining.
Oh, everything ain't equal.
As a man, it shouldn't be equal. As a man, you have to make better decisions. Messing around with women on your job, that's just not worth it. And look at him, he's a millionaire being suspended for an entire season. 9 times out of 10, he's not going to be hired back at that job, especially if the interim head coach, Joe Mazzulla, takes Boston back to the NBA Finals. If he does that, Ime Udoka's done. So why would you put your career at risk doing something that was easily avoidable by not just messing with them? So in conclusion, brothers, messing around with women on the workplace just isn't worth it. Why take the risk? Why deal with someone that you know if things were to go left or the dynamics of your intimate encounter or relationship changes from messing with someone at the job, she could easily go to human resources and accuse you of things that, even though you know for a fact it may be totally false. Why even take the risk? You take risk at bettering yourself as a man. You don't take unnecessary risk putting yourself in positions that you know for a fact that can cost you your job, your career, your sanity, your happiness. It's just not worth it. What he did, that ain't player at all. If he was truly player about it, he would have been telling these women up front, yeah, I got a woman, but I like other women. Or if he was truly player about it, he would have told Nia Long, yeah,
I like messing around with other women. You know, if you want me to, if you don't want this to be put out there, you know, you can find me another woman, or I'll find myself another woman.
But doing it on the job, there ain't nothing player about that. There's nothing admirable about that. I would never view you as no upstanding man by doing that. As I stated earlier, had that Boston Celtics executive went to him man to man and wanted to get violent with him, who knows what could have happened. Why put yourself in an extreme situation where you could possibly get hurt or killed? Just ain't worth it, man. As men, we have to think smarter. We have to have better judgment. We have to use better discernment. Dirty macking on the workplace, just messing around, getting intimate with females on the workplace. Why even do it? Bottom line, why put yourself through it? Let's say if it did work out fine, now you got to deal with the emotions of that woman. You got to deal with her having feelings for you on another level. And you may not even want it all that. You may just want the sex from this woman, but you have to understand, you encounter in any type of sexual act with a woman, if she has some type of bond and understanding with you, naturally, she's going to have some type of feelings for you, bro. And you can't control it. But what you can control is not messing around with these women on the workplace in the first place. I do not condone anything that Ime Udoka did. And if any of you men are doing that, stop. Otherwise, you'll be like Ime Udoka. It may not be blasted publicly, but trust me, privately, you will feel the effects of it. Simply because you think you players, you think you on some pimping shit, but you dirty macking, bro. Peace, love. May God bless each and every last one of you. 100.
Udoka made a statement to ESPN's Malika Andrews saying, I want to apologize to our players, fans, the entire Celtics organization, and my family for letting them down. I am sorry for putting the team in this difficult situation, and I accept the team's decision. Out of respect for everyone involved, I will have no further comment. So the Celtics are now without their head coach just days before their first practice of the season. Udoka joined the team last summer, leading them to the NBA Finals for the first time in 12 years. So hopes have been high heading into this new season, but now it is all up in the air.